Hey everybody, welcome back to Around the Emirates podcast with Sara Mousa, where I speak to guests from across the UAE about topics you want to hear about. Today I'm joined by the incredibly talented Sonam Hader. Hi Sonam.
Hi, Sarah. I'm happy to be here.
Happy to have you here. So, guys, Sonam is somebody who we all really need to hear from right now. She is founder of Aethra Advisory, which is a really important firm that deals with HR, talent acquisition, and just making sure that companies are making the right choices when it comes to hiring the right talents. Please, Sonam, tell me your story and what got you started.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Again, I really appreciate being on the show. And it's an incredible platform. So kudos to you for what you're doing, bringing in these like amazing women, from all walks of life. And I'm incredibly happy and honored to be here. So my story, great. So my story, where do I start? I've been in the space of global mobility and immigration for about 15 years now. I originally am from India, Bangalore, where I started my journey. I've moved. Uh, this Dubai is home now for me, and I've been here for about 12 years out of the 15 years that I've been doing mobility. Have dabbled with consulting, have been on each side of the table, and ultimately knowing and seeing what I've seen across board, I felt like it was the right time to build Aethra. I think there's a lot we can talk about that today. But I'm also a mom, which I'm very, very proud of. I should have started with that. It's just one of those things that makes me feel like, okay, I've got this. If I can be a mom, I can be anything. So I'm a mom to a toddler who is now a year and a half. I'm a mom to two French bulldogs. And I'm studying. I'm also doing my MSc in organization and business psychology. Oh,
Wow.
also, I'm a rider. I love biking. So I own a Harley 883, who I call Maleficent. So there's a lot going on in my life. Please bear with me.
Vroom vroom is what I'm gonna say. I love that. That's amazing. Okay, let's start with that. So, obviously you're an entrepreneur, you're a mother, you have your family life, you've obviously love your passions and your hobbies as a biker. This very quickly and very nicely takes me to my kind of question for you next. What kind of challenges have you faced in kind of juggling all these items, and how do you feel you've overcome them?
I feel like my life has been a lot of challenges. Let's just start there. And I don't want to start by saying that I think most women go through that, which is true. I think it needs to be said. And women in leadership, I think I've come across like incredible leaders in my recent journey, who I absolutely look up to and respect, and they're my mentors. So I do want to speak about the challenges, but I also want to acknowledge that there are a lot of like these mentors who have brought me where I am today. And how I like to phrase it is that in my journey, I've met a lot of individuals within the corporate space who might have broken my confidence. I've gone through anxiety, panic attacks, and I'm not ashamed to talk about that because it's what made me who I am today. And the biggest challenge I faced over and over again is that I speak up. And, not everyone is okay with people who speak up. And when I say speak up, I speak the truth. And I've never held my voice back. And it's been one of those things where I have then realized that, okay, is it me or is it the person? There was a pattern which also made me realize that, wait, I think I'm in a business where a lot of people underestimate the global mobility, people mobility. It's a lot. It's this human element involved, and if you're not paying like solid attention to that, then what are we doing? Businesses, yes, just like a lot of like your investments in your software, your tools, your whatnot. But then this is one of the segments that's overlooked,
Hmm.
and people like me and people in this industry that I'm in, they can speak to it that how difficult it is because lives are attached. You have children, you have people uprooting their lives and moving to another continent. And it's a lot of work. At the end of the day, AI, there's a lot of chat about AI, but I think on a deeper human level, it's so important to have empathy if you're in this space. And that's why having seen all of those challenges, having worked with a lot of like young founders who fail to understand what it is that we actually do as professionals, kept seeing that gap over and over again. So that clubbed with, the challenges as a woman in leadership role, I think it was an easy decision that, okay, there's so much that's happened. We'll take probably 24 hours to talk about my story. But that led me to build Aethra. And I'm so proud of it because it's a no BS. I will speak to you with the most honest truth because business one side, I cater to people who really, really, really appreciate their employees. And they're the ones I want to work with, who are open to real, honest expectations and understand that there's a human life involved in making this move happen. So that's what I stand for. That's what Aethra stands for. So it was long-winded answer, but I think I needed to speak it all to give you the best answer I can.
Not at all. I mean, this is exactly why I invite you to be on the show. This is exactly why, this is a platform for you to speak your truth and speak your story. So thank you for sharing that. I do think it's very important for women to feel less uh I guess, guarded when it comes to speaking their minds. And it's so important that we have people like you that do that. And I'm going to throw a bit of a curveball question at you. I know that I didn't brief you on this earlier, but obviously we're in kind of slightly, as they like to say, uncertain times right now. How has this type of situation of uncertainty impacted the way that you or your approach for your business?
When you say uncertainty, are you talking about the recent events that happened?
I'm just
Right.
from an HR perspective and talent acquisition.
Yeah, it's a brilliant question because I've been on like some of these like other news channels to talk about it, and this has impacted. I'm cautiously optimistic. That's a word I like to use. Um, there has been a little, let's say, decline in hiring. It's been happening, but
Yeah.
then I think HR and the companies have become a bit more strategic in how they look at hiring their talent. So I would say quarter 1 was pretty good. Quarter 2, we saw a gradual decline, but I think it's picking up back again. So
Mhm.
there are a lot of companies who are focused on talent acquisition, workplace strategies, and they're amping up the global mobility space so that as and when there's a need, they're not like in backlog. They're already working towards like getting the right talent on board. And then there are some companies who are letting go of employees. So I think there's that balance that needs to be maintained. I did speak about some numbers when I was on one of the shows where World Economic Forum did predict that in 4 years' time, 80% of the employers feel that it would change the way we conduct business.
Mm.
That's something, 80% globally. So I think hiring is not going to stop. I think there's a lot of potential for all these talented individuals who are moving in to the UAE, and it's picking up back. I think after what happened, there was a little bit of like instability, and I think people just were like a bit wary of like whether they want to be here with their families. So I think all of that has it's gotten better, and I think people are coming back to it now.
I love that. I appreciate your honesty as well. I kind of threw that question at you a little bit from the side, but I appreciate how smoothly you answered that question. And obviously, having gone through the amazing experiences in your decades of being in HR, has there been any kind of moment or milestone or element of your experience that really stood out for you in any way?
There's many, but I think when you ask me for a milestone, I would have to say that I would have to speak to my most recent experience. And that was because I had the opportunity to build something from ground up, build a team that I'm passionate about. Here's the thing, right? When you enter corporate as a newbie, you're like bright-eyed. You're like, yeah, I'm going to tap into this and I'm going to make big. I was there 15 years ago, right? And I'm not saying that with every experience, I felt like a bit of me chipped away. Everyone goes through that. It's life, it's personal life, it's even corporate. Like you're working with different people from different walks of life. So you don't know there's that human element that shapes you who you are. And you might not be that bright-eyed person, but there's always that things like, I really want to make an impact. So for me, it happened in my last job where I finally was in a place where I felt that, okay, this is my place. This is my baby. I'm gonna like build this up from ground up. And I did that. I put in a lot of work, which I think I haven't done. I'm very sincere. I'm very ambitious. I do a lot of work, but I just feel like that was my space to like really build something, brought a team together, build a culture that I wanted to, keep growing with in my org. And that shapes the company, right? Culture is so important. And that's one milestone that I'm so proud of that when I stepped into that role, I was like, I don't know if I can do this, but that gave me the confidence I have today. And that's why I would call it my biggest milestone, even though that was a short-lived one and I was let go following, I have no idea what, but that shaped Aethra. So I think it's a milestone, and I thank these people. I've thanked every bad manager, if I must make a joke of it. Thank you. I'm here because of you guys.
No, I love that. I think it's important that we take all the good experiences, the bad experiences as learnings, whether or not it's learnings that we anticipated. They're still learning, they are learnings nonetheless. It's also important to know what not to do, right? Like we talk about bad managers, and it's the word that you said, culture. The business is centered, focused on culture as a pillar, and if it's not, then there's a problem already from the get-go. So the fact that you focus so much on culture speaks volumes of your character and your personality. And this leads me to kind of my final question for you today, Sonam. If there's one word of advice that you want to leave listeners out there, whether it's starting their own firm, whether it's going through times of uncertainty with cautious optimism, as you like to say, what message do you want to leave with them today?
Um, I just have one message, and it has guided me through my entire journey and where I am today. Uh, be yourself. Be unapologetically yourself. I think people need that fresh voice where everyone decides or chooses to keep quiet. If you feel it, say it. If you feel you can do it, go for it. Because I have surprised myself in ways that I didn't think was possible. And to give you an example, my first assignment with my MSc organizational and business psychology was about, I had to put up an assignment about one of those corporate things that not many people talk about, and what my observations were. I did it on imposter syndrome, and boy, did I have a lot of fun. And it's a real thing. Like, imposter syndrome is such a big thing, and nobody talks about it enough. And I'm sure everyone, all of us, I constantly start thinking every time I do something good, I'm like, nah, that was just luck. It's not gonna happen again. So it's okay. You will make through as long as you just trust yourself. And if you don't take the plunge, you will never find out. Life has ways to surprise you. So if it's not all good by the end of it, then it's not the end.
I love that. And you did bring up something that is very important, imposter syndrome. We all go through it. We don't talk about it as much as we should, but we definitely all experience it at one point. We all think, damn, like, why am I hired to be in this job? And there's some crazy statistic of like something like 80% of women don't apply for jobs that they might be qualified for because they feel like they don't match every qualification, whereas like 100% of men apply for every job. It's some crazy statistic that I ran into a few years ago, and it's like it's so true. Like women just like doubt themselves so much more than they should.
Exactly. Exactly. And hence why I also work with a lot of like women in different industries. I am always open to mentorship, whether receiving or giving. So my platform is always open to anybody who wants to just have a chat. No business. Business comes after. For me, it's important that there's this connection on a human level. Without that, I don't think we're going anywhere.
I appreciate that. And how can people reach out to you, Sonam?
Oh, I am very active on LinkedIn. So easiest way to find me would be LinkedIn. And from there on, I will try and be a bit more active and like reply back, but I do get back.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sonam, for your time today. I've learned so much and I really appreciate you sharing your story.
Thank you. I have really enjoyed talking to you, Sarah. Thank you for having me.